Goodspeed, the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Cooper. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Beaton.
Here.
Mayor Zelinski.
Here.
Councilmember Goodspeed.
Here.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Here.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Here.
Councilmember Pontiac.
Here.
City Manager.
Here.
City Attorney.
Here.
DPW Director.
Here.
Finance Director.
Here.
Public Safety Director.
Here.
City Engineer.
Here.
Thank you. Public hearings, we have none. Citizens' comments on agenda-related items. Do we have any citizens that like to comment on agenda-related items? Seeing none. Consent agenda. All items marked with an asterisk are on the consent agenda and considered by the city manager to be routine matters. Prior to approval of the consent agenda, any member of council may have an item from the consent agenda removed and taken up during the regular portion of the meeting. Consent agenda items include approval of minutes, cash balance, revenue and expenses, consideration of ordinance Z19-11, small cell wireless facilities, consideration of ordinance 19-17, chapter 866, medical marijuana, consideration of ordinance 19-18, amending chapter 1610, international fire code, notification regarding next work session, and consideration of Salt City Rock and Blues Labor Fest. At this time, is there any member of council that would like an item of the consent agenda removed?
Yes, Mayor Zelinski, I would like us to remove consideration of ordinance 1918, amending chapter 1610, International Fire Code, from the consent agenda.
We'll remove that from the consent agenda. We'll take it up under unfinished business next. At this time, we could take action to approve the consent agenda as amended. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
A motion, and who second? Aaron second. Please take the roll.
Councilmember Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton.
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski.
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Under unfinished business, consideration of ordinance -19-18, amending chapter 1610, International Fire Code. The Manistee Fire Department has received a number of complaints about open burning within the city. The city has certain requirements regarding open burning in chapter 674, and also by the adoption of the International Fire Code in section 1610. The fire department requested some additional language be added to section 1610, allowing for more specific regulations and for recreational fires, so that what is authorized is more clear for residents and enforceable by fire officers. As an ordinance, two separate readings are required. This ordinance was introduced at the May 21st, 2019 meeting and could be adopted at this time. At this time, council could take action to adopt ordinance 19-18, amending chapter 1610, International Fire Code. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I would like this ordinance tabled and put on a work session. I don't think we've had enough time to really understand it and listen to all the public's input on it.
I second that.
I would agree as well.
Okay, so we're going to table this motion. We have a motion on the table. We have a first and a second. We need a roll call.
Well, Mayor, could I ask that its motion is to table to the next city council meeting?
Yes, yes.
Work session.
We're
Well,
going to have a work
You
session
have to
and then
table the
table to the
motion to,
next.
you have to table the motion to a specific
Regular
council
meeting.
meeting.
Oh.
The next,
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you, Mr. Saylor. Call the roll.
Councilmember Pontiac.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed.
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of a resolution to support CBOC Task Force. Manistee County veterans must travel an average of 100 miles or more to seek medical care and treatment. A local community-based outpatient clinic task force is working diligently to change that. A resolution of support has been prepared for council consideration. At this time, council could take action to adopt a resolution of support for the Manistee Area Community-Based Outpatient Clinic Task Force in their efforts to locate a veterans clinic in the Manistee area.
I'm making the motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Well, I don't know if anybody can answer this question tonight, but where is it going to be located if we get it?
To be determined within the city, within Manistee County.
Anywhere in Manistee County, or is it gonna be in the city?
Anywhere in Manistee County at this time is to be determined.
Listen, my dad made a lot of trips to Traverse City and to Mount, Saginaw. I think it's an awesome thing.
It's really needed.
I was just more curious about where it would go, whether it was gonna be part of Munson or whether it was going to be something else.
Just as a side note, there is a petition going around for support. If you get a chance, you haven't signed it, please do so, if you're in favor of it. Anything else? Please take the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. The Manistee City Planning Commission held an advertised public hearing on May 16, 2019, in compliance with the Zoning Enabling Act to receive comments on zoning amendment language pertaining to the allowance of medical and recreational marijuana sales in a newly created overlay district within the city of Manistee. Public comments we received at the public hearing were in support of the amending language. Public correspondence received in writing with a signature 7 individual letters from neighboring properties, primarily in the Jocelyn Cove development. 6 of these letters were not in support of the amendment language. While 1 letter was in support, the Planning Commission recommends approval, adoption of the amendment. As an ordinance, 2 separate readings are required. If this ordinance is introduced this evening, it could be adopted at the next regular meeting. At this time, council could take action to introduce zoning ordinance Z19-13, amending Article 2, Article 3, Article 18, and Article 20 pertaining to the allowance of medical and recreational marijuana sales in a newly created overlay district in the city of Manistee. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, please take the roll.
Councilmember Pontiac.
Yes.
Councilmember Szymanski.
Yes.
Councilmember Grabowski.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Beaton.
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed.
No.
Councilmember Cooper.
Yes.
Mayor Zelinski.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Notices, communication, and announcement. A report from the Community Foundation and Lawrence Manistee. At this time, we'll have Ms. Lori Hanselman and Ms. Hannah Rodriguez come up and do a report.
Wonderful. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. I'm Laura Heinzelman. I'm the president of the Manistee County Community Foundation, and it's my pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you for the opportunity to provide you with an update on our recent activities. The Community Foundation's work is about turning our donors' passion into action for the benefit of the Manistee County community. And with the privilege of accepting each special gift also comes a profound responsibility. Over the past year, we have rolled up our sleeves and dug into the challenging but critical work of assessing and planning and strategizing so that we can ensure the maximum impact of every dollar that has been entrusted to us. So this evening, I will be highlighting some of those efforts. To grab the clicker. It's right here.
Push the down arrow.
Thank you. Okay. We are one of more than 100 community foundations in Michigan and more than 1,000 across the United States that operate for the benefit of their communities. And collectively, community foundations hold more than $76 billion. The Manistee County Community Foundation was established about 30 years ago in 1987 by a group of community leaders that envisioned a bright future for Manistee County and wanted to establish the Community Foundation as a vehicle to help make that happen. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life for Manistee County residents today and forever. And we do that through three primary means. The first is to build permanent community capital. Today, we administer more than 100 funds totaling over $25 million in assets. And though we're unique in that our focus is on all aspects of life in the community, and that our motto as a community foundation, our perspective is long-term, our motto is for good forever. The second part of our mission is to award grants that address local needs and opportunities. And cumulatively throughout our time, we have awarded more than $2.5 million back to our community. The third part of our mission is to serve as a convener and to provide leadership to achieve positive community change. We're fortunate to be governed by a volunteer board of directors that lends their time and expertise and talent to ensure that we are able to achieve our mission. Looking back at 2018 at a glance, we received approximately $1 million in gifts and grants. We awarded about $428,000 in grants and scholarships back out to the community. 2 new funds were established for a total of 97. Our 2018 investment return ended the year at a negative 6.43%. I'm sure you remember the volatility at the very end of the calendar year, slightly reducing our assets at that point to $24 million. Today, they're a little over 26. We continue to administer several funds that are specifically for the benefit of the city of Manistee. A few of them are highlighted here. The Manistee Veterans Memorial Park Fund supports additions and enhancements and monuments to that city park. The Manistee Non-Motorized Trail Park Fund provides support for the development and the ongoing maintenance and grooming and snow plowing that needs to happen there at the park. The Ramsdale Theater Preservation Fund is a permanent endowment that provides support for the restoration and maintenance of the interior of the complex and theater. And the Ramsdale Regional Center for the Arts Fund provides operating support for the RRCA for programming and annual operations. I shared this slide last year, and I'm putting it up here again to share the just exponential growth and rapid period of change that the Community Foundation is in the midst of. We are thrilled for a number of reasons through the generosity that has provided this growth for the community, but primarily because it enables us to be able to do more for the benefit of the Manistee County area. And through this past year, we were able to significantly expand our grant-making programs. We received just a highly competitive, a large number of applications to our grant cycle. We received 31 applications total for about twice the amount of funding that we had available. So it was a really challenging but exciting year in our first expanded grant cycle. The primary reason for our growth was an incredible estate gift from this gentleman, Mr. Forrest R. Minger Jr. The Minger Family Endowment Fund was established in 2017 through a landmark estate gift of more than $15 million that was received from Mr. Minger's trust. The new endowment provides a permanent source of support for improving and expanding recreation across Manistee County. And while Mr. Minger never lived here in Manistee County, he developed a deep appreciation through his love for fishing. And he shared that he wanted to give back to the place that had brought him so much joy over the years, and that he knew that his gift could do so much in a community our size. So we're honored to be entrusted with such a special and significant gift, and are very much looking forward to the positive impact that it will have and is already having on our community. Sharing here the first grants that were awarded out of the Minger Family Endowment Fund last year, totaling $215,000. And so they're listed here. I won't read through them all for you, but I know you have this list with you as well. Our board, I know, was excited. Again, it was extremely challenging due to the high competition, but at the same time, just thrilled to be able to provide support for a wide variety of recreation opportunities across Manistee County. And the priorities for this fund are first, trails and expansion and development of new trail systems. Second, support for indoor or winter-based recreation, including at community centers. And then third, support for water and access to fishing, access to water and fishing. So, again, thrilled to be able to provide these inaugural grants from the fund. Again, the purpose, we're in the midst of our 2019 grant cycle right now. The purpose generally to improve recreation opportunities and access to recreation within Manistee County by maintaining, expanding, acquiring, or developing new recreation facilities. This year, we have up to $380,000 available. Our large grant program, the deadline was April 15th. Our board is in the middle of evaluating those proposals right now, anticipates funding decisions by July 1. We've added a small grant program this year to be more responsive to the needs of the community. So a grant for $5,000 or less can be submitted at any time, and we'll be able to provide a decision on that within 45 days to help meet the needs that are out there. The second fund that has enabled us to expand our impact is the Limitless Fund, which is aptly named because it really is there to support virtually anything except for what the Recreation Fund supports. And this was established through the generosity of an anonymous donor who recognized that most of the foundation's funds are designated for very specific purposes and wanted to enable the foundation to be able to better respond to a broad array of needs as well as meet emerging opportunities and gaps. And so widespread community support helped us rise to the donors challenge, and we were able to receive more than $1.5 million for this new fund. And we're really thrilled that these dollars have enabled us to be better positioned to meet not only the needs that are out there today, but the unknown needs that none of us can possibly anticipate in the future. So I listed here again our first grants from that fund last year, meeting again some gaps and needs that were out there in the community for school support, for human service support, for some support of the arts and cultural needs of our community. So again, a wide array. In addition to those listed here, we piloted a leadership program specifically for nonprofit emerging leaders, and we were able to provide some continued support for the Launch Manistee Network through this fund. We have a grant cycle planned this year for the Limitless Fund and other field of interest funds, as we call them at the foundation. Again, the charitable purpose, anything except for recreation, because we are referring those to the Minger Family Endowment Fund. This year we have more. We have up to $40,000 in available funds. It'll open August 15th. The deadline's October 15th, and we anticipate funding and making those grant awards by the end of the year. If you're interested in learning more about the details, they're all on our website. I'm always happy to answer questions, as are other staff at the foundation. As the Community Foundation has grown and evolved over the past several years, youth and education has always been at the core of what we do. But those programs have also grown and evolved, as has our staffing. And so at this point, I would like to turn things over to one of our new wonderful addition to our team at the foundation, Hannah Rodriguez, who is here to talk about the Youth and Education Program foundations at the foundation, which now also include the Launch Manistee Network, which operates as a community leadership initiative of the foundation. Before I turn things over, are there any questions that I can answer at this time?
All I want to do is say thank you for all that you do. You are a delight to talk to. You're in a lot of meetings, and I know you've got your fingers on the pulse of this community. Thank you for what you do for us.
Thank you so much. I enjoy it very much, and it really is an honor.
I would like
Appreciate
to echo that, and a big thank you. And just continue the good work. You're doing a fabulous job. Thanks.
Thank you. We intend to do so. Thanks. Hannah.
Thank you, Laura, and good evening. Thank you again for your time. As Laura said, the foundation continues to be strongly dedicated to youth and education in our community. And one of the shining examples of that is our Youth Advisory Council, or our YAC. So the YAC is made up of about 25 high school students from all 6 Manistee County school districts who, through YAC, have the opportunity to learn about philanthropy and recommend grants to receive funds from the foundation's youth endowment. The YAC received 10 applications this year, making it a highly competitive process, and recommended funding youth-focused projects to the following organizations: P-Flag Manistee, Staircase Youth Services, Prom Boutique, and Calvin Norman Dixon School's Blessings in a Backpack program. Per the YAC's recommendation, these projects were then approved by the Foundation's Board of Directors. The Excellence in Education Awards also continues to be a wonderful opportunity to really highlight academic excellence and community commitment here in Manistee County, particularly by our high school juniors. And the foundation is thankful for the continued support from the city of Manistee and from the Elks Lodge in putting on that event and creating that opportunity. I wanted to share a little bit about what we call our traditional scholarship awards, or those that go in particular to graduating seniors. In 2018, we awarded more than $100,000 in scholarships and renewals, the largest annual amount in the foundation's history, so having a great impact in students' ability to continue their education. With support from donors with a passion for education, the foundation administers a number of scholarship funds in support of Manistee County students. Funds vary in their eligibility and selection criteria, and various selection committees made up of community members recommend recipients who are approved by the Foundation Board of Directors. Another more unique scholarship program administered by the Manistee County Community Foundation is our Manistee Commitment Scholarship Program. And this program is aimed at ensuring that more students have access to higher education with fewer barriers standing in their way. The program seeks to support scholars with advising and experiential learning in the areas of academic readiness, college and career exploration, financial planning, community service, and personal development. So provided these scholars participate and are engaged in programmatic activities, they are all eligible for a tuition scholarship to West Shore Community College for 60 credits or up to 3 years upon graduation from high school. And while the tuition scholarship serves as a great incentive for these scholars, students, and families, what makes our program unique is the advising and the support that is provided to navigate the process every step of the way. Students in this program are nominated by their schools and selected by a committee of community partners who support the program. And to be eligible, students must be first-generation college-going students, be considered economically disadvantaged as defined by the Michigan Department of Education, and show academic promise and engagement. And what we know about this particular demographic of student is, again, while that financial support is incredibly important, a lot of that navigating the process is really the missing piece in ensuring their success long term. There are currently 80 scholars in the program representing grades 9 through 11 in all 6 districts in Manistee County. And an incoming cohort of 20 scholars was recently selected just a couple of weeks ago, which will bring the total to 100 scholars in our community grades 9 through 12. One highlight this year is that one of our Manistee Commitment Scholars from Casman Academy graduated 1 year ahead of the rest of his cohort and has already enrolled in classes at West Shore. So he's definitely our true trailblazer, and we're so excited to see what's next for him. Another more recent highlight from this program was the opportunity just last week to partner with the city to have our scholars engage in community service projects at First Street Beach and Rocket Park. And we are grateful to Jeff McCula and Public Works for providing our students with that opportunity to give back to their community and for guiding them in their projects. And this was a really exciting opportunity for them to understand, what it means to give back to the community that has given them this opportunity. I also wanted to share a couple of updates and just reminders about the Launch Manistee Network, which, as you know, is our community's Cradle to Career Education initiative designed to support students from early childhood to adulthood and ultimately the economic prosperity of Manistee County. So through a collective impact framework, we seek to make sure that all Manistee County residents are ready for school, ready for post-secondary options, and ready for career. This network is guided by a cross-sector leadership team made up of stakeholders from early childhood education, K-12 education, higher ed, local government, philanthropy, business, and nonprofit. The leadership team guides the network's strategic direction and sets its goals, priority areas, and metrics. Currently, the Launch Manistee Network is focused on the two primary goals that you see here. The first is that by 2020, all 3 and 4-year-olds in Manistee County will have access to a range of options for quality preschool, regardless of ability to pay. And the second is on the post-secondary end of our work, which is that by 2025, 60% of Manistee County residents ages 25 to 64 will have a post-secondary degree or a high-quality credential. Through the efforts of our network, educational systems and initiatives in our community continue to be refined and developed to provide proven pathways to success for area students and for the community at large. And in addition, a countywide culture that values early childhood education, access to post-secondary options for all, and the importance of post-secondary attainment has truly been advanced. The network was established over 5 years ago, and at its inception, a common agenda and metrics were established to guide the network's vision and measure the progress of its goals. Recently, this year, the Launch Manistee leadership team reflected on that progress through a lens of wanting to continuously improve and determined a need to really dig in deep and review and revise the network's common agenda in order to ensure it's best suited to current needs and conditions and to any progress that's been made over time. So thanks to recent grant support from the Consumers Energy Foundation, we've been able to engage in this process, and we look forward to sharing that progress over time with you. And just a few highlights of our work from this year. In the early childhood end of what we do, we saw a 15% increase in preschool enrollment from 2017 to 2018. So through collective community efforts, additional preschool programs were established within that year and have allowed for greater enrollment of our county's 3 and 4-year-olds, working to that big goal that we talked about earlier. In post-secondary work, the Launch Manistee Network continues to help coordinate and support several initiatives that are implemented in each of our area high schools, including Michigan College Month, the College Cash Campaign, and Decision Day. And each of these initiatives are really aimed at exposing students to their post-secondary options, ensuring that they're financially prepared for their next steps, and celebrating any and all options that they choose. Through these initiatives, nearly all graduating seniors from the class of 2019 participated in Michigan College Month, submitting over 300 college applications. Nearly 70% completed a FAFSA application. For anyone who's ever had a college student, you know that is not an easy task, but it's an incredibly important step in their financial readiness. And all seniors participated in Decision Day activities at their school, demonstrating to their community and to their younger peers the excitement and importance of taking those next steps after high school. And in the career aspect of our work, we once again partnered with the Manistee Area Chamber of Commerce to engage students in the Chamber's Business and Career Expo. The Launch Manistee Network assists with engaging and preparing the students to attend the expo and learn more about career options that are available here in their community. Students are able to engage with area businesses and organizations to learn more about certain career paths, and in some cases, even summer or part-time employment is gained through that experience. While this year's expo was not as well attended due to a snow day in 3 of our districts, one of many this year, there were still close to 200 high school students who attended, and 20 students from the schools that were closed decided to take advantage of their day off and join the expo anyway, which I thought spoke very well to the opportunity and them wanting to take advantage of it. So we're really grateful to the many partners involved in the Launch Manistee Network, and we look forward to continuing our collective work from here and beyond. So we thank you for your time and would welcome any questions at this time that you have for us.
I just want to say that you've been doing a really good job. You've been kind of thrown into it this year after Mary Ann left, so you've done great.
Thank you, Erin. So, and just to clarify, as program officer, I am coordinating the Launch Manistee network as well in my role. So, thanks, Erin. Yes.
Is there been more focus on working with apprenticeship programs, with the crafts and trades? I know a couple of
Yeah.
places have asked.
Yes, so we partner very closely with Michigan Works, which is extremely helpful in, gaining our understanding of those programs. Right now, what we struggle with in terms of how do we make that a measurable goal is that we don't have great systems of tracking those programs or certificates. So we really encourage, as we always do, that post-secondary options means any of those things, apprenticeships, working right out of high school, the military, a 4-year degree, whatever is best for that student. So we do want to continue to promote those opportunities, knowing that they are readily available in our community and wanting to give students that viable option.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for working with the youth of this community. They are our future, and I enjoyed your talk tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It is truly my pleasure to get to work with them. Thank you.
Concerns and comments. Citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to comment on municipal services, activities, or areas of city involvement. Citizens in attendance shall be recognized by the mayor for comments, limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted to council will not be publicly read. Do we have any citizens that'd like to comment tonight? Please state your name and address, and you get 5 minutes to tell us what you think.
Okay, thank you. Melissa Bertram, 19230 Fowler Road, Lake Ann. I am a realtor with Real Estate One, and I am kind of known as the cannabis realtor of Northern Michigan. And I have a lot of the properties on Arthur secured for variety of group of clients. I just wanted to come to the meeting tonight and introduce myself. I'm sure you've probably heard my name from people calling and asking questions about their property that I'm trying to secure. I just wanted you to be able to put a face with the name and see that I'm just a regular person like everybody else. And then I also wanted to thank the girls so much for everything that they do. My son out of Traverse City was awarded 3 scholarships through a program very similar to what she was just talking about. And I think that they're very needed in communities, and I'm glad to see that you guys have a strong support system. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll go to officials and staff. Mr. Taylor.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Saylor.
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Let me look at my list, see who we got here today. Jeff, DPW, Mr. McCullough.
A couple updates for you. Number one, obviously the high lake levels are continuing to cause issues. At Arthur Street boat launch, we have 2 separate issues that have occurred. One is the retaining wall that supports the parking lot itself. When it was built, there was 20 feet of land out towards Manistee Lake. That land has been eroded away and is submerged, and so the water has washed underneath the foundation of that wall, and we have a failure. So you've probably seen that there's cones out there. We've applied for a Eagle and Corps of Engineer permit to do the repairs on that, and we received the Eagle permit today. Still waiting on the Corps permit. The insurance company, we submitted it as a claim because it was damage to a structure, and the insurance company emailed today, or the adjuster emailed today that they had forwarded a check to pay for the claim minus the depreciation of that, so that should be a covered loss. About a week and a half ago, we also discovered that the lake levels came so high one morning about 2 weeks ago that the floating pier came off of the telescoping piles. When it came off the telescoping piles, the east wind pushed it towards shore, and the gangway that slides on it was shoved through the deck of the floating pier. So last week we had a couple contractors there to lift it up and reposition it and assess the damage, and so we're getting estimates on that. We made the insurance company aware of that loss as well, and they're just waiting for a written estimate. 4 of the piles that support that were actually bent over by that wave action. So one of the contractors has the piles ordered, and we'll be repairing that as soon as we can. The other thing that we learned today was that the 200-foot section of the Riverwalk that's been damaged, we submitted that to the insurance company as well with a quote from a contractor, and they advised today that they've submitted a check to the city for the cost of that loss minus the depreciation. So about $50,000 of the $60,000 of the loss of those two will be paid for by insurance proceeds. Another thing that's happening that is very unique, and it's never happened to Manistee before, is the lake levels are so high at this point that the water's backing up our storm sewer system, and for extended periods it is actually higher than the weir that allows our sewer overflows to go out to Manistee Lake. So on most days we've been treating about 1 million gallons of Manistee Lake water through the wastewater treatment plant because it's back surcharging up through our storm sewer and into the plant. So normally our flows are about 1 million gallons a day. We've been running the plant at about 2 million gallons a day. We've alerted the state of Michigan to this issue, have talked from representatives from the district office in Cadillac and also in Lansing. They have nicely stated that it's our system and we're responsible for operating it, but we're supportive that we need to do whatever measures are necessary to protect public health over the environment. And the translation is we need to try to protect from any basement backups, and we need to do whatever means are necessary to prevent that. So we're working through with the engineers what the critical elevations are, the system dynamics, and trying to come up with some possible temporary solutions, kind of some intermediate solutions. But then when we build the additional storage and treatment with our rural development phase 2 application, that will be the final, because it will be separated. The storm and the sanitary will be permanently separated, and we won't have that issue again. So one of the things that's happening, you may see reported discharges of a sanitary sewer overflow when we report those in the paper, and it doesn't take much rain. But what's happening is the sewer level are much lower than the lake level. If the lake level tops that weir and fills the sewer side of it, we're throttling our plant at 2 million gallons a day, but it has the potential to back up, especially when it's raining or depending on how high the lake level goes. So when it submerges and those two equalize and the lake drops, then it spills from the sanitary side back to the storm side of what was just contributed from the lake. And that's happened several times where we can see the flow go back and forth. Any questions?
How do you fix it?
Well, there's a couple temporary measures that we're exploring right now, such as opening the plant up to let it flow. We know that we can put 3 million gallons through the plant physically, but that's not full treatment. So that's one option. Pumping right out of the storm or the sanitary side and direct discharging is another option that was discussed with the state. And then kind of a more intermediate, we're looking at some options to actually put like a backflow preventer on the storm sewer system. And the outfall to this is a 66-inch by 66-inch pipe. It's massive. So we're looking for a location within that system that's downstream from SSO 18 where we can put a kind of a backflow preventer or a check valve in there so that we can keep the lake coming up, but we can still allow stormwater to go back or to flow out to the lake during a rain event. We're not sure what that's going to cost. We're just digging through that, and we owe the state a report by the 17th. So we need to put our kind of a written initial plan into writing to the state by the 17th of this month.
My only other question would be, how are we doing with the riverbank erosion? Anything happening there?
We got a quote on that as well. Because it is damage to land, there is not a structure, a loss to a structure. It's not covered by insurance, so I'll be writing up all the paperwork, and we're gonna have to identify where to get funds from to cover these, but likely to come out of fund balance.
So is this, what you're talking about is a temporary fix or a?
Temporary fix, yep. On the long-term side, I was not getting a response back from the head of the Corps of Engineers in Grand Haven for several weeks. Met with a separate representative to discuss beach grooming and stuff, and found out that our contact person had retired. So we have a new contact person out of Grand Haven, but we also met with representative from Senator Stabenow's office today, who's going to put us in touch with kind of the chief of the district office. So we're trying to climb the ladder and get some attention. Certainly I think we've got a good case that the wave refraction and energy that's coming down the harbor along the core structures is causing, is enhancing the erosion issues. But like our conversation went today, this isn't just a Manistee issue. There's high levels throughout the Great Lakes right now, so.
Any other questions for Mr. McCullough? Thank you.
Thank you.
Public safety.
Good evening. Wanted to just update you on a couple of items. Number one, on the 17th, we will have a press conference highlighting the Guinness Award that we were awarded for the oldest continuously man-operating fire station in the world. So we're going to have that on the 17th. We'll have it over at the actual fire department. Everybody will be invited. We'll communicate a little bit more on that. But Fred LaPointe worked long and hard on that, and it was pretty significantly vetted, and London finally awarded that. They're going to embargo it to the actual 17th for us. And you might ask us, why on the 17th? Why on the 17th, Chief?
Why?
Well, it's because it's the 130th year, actually, on that date from the time that the station was first started. So I think it'll be significant all the way around. We'd like to have everybody there to commemorate that. So I know you touched on it briefly, or you might have glanced over it. I'm sorry?
What time is that gonna be, Chief?
I have to set a time, but we'll get that communication out to you. This is the first time it's communicated out to everybody, so. National, don't print anything, okay? All right, just one. Second is, I don't know if you touched on it, but our marina's coming along well. If you've had a chance, take a peek down there. They've been doing a wonderful job down there, getting everything together. We've actually accommodated another small marina here in town because they've had some issues with their water levels, and our docks actually are above water, so we've been able to help them out, get some boats from them over here temporarily. Thank you.
How many new docks do we have in, Chief?
New ones, I think we're at 8 right now, of the new ones, right? 8 new ones.
Here, operating.
Yeah, 2.5 to go, so we're getting close. DPW did a wonderful job raising the other ones that we have that we, haven't replaced, but we've been utilizing those, and that's been working out well.
How many do we have total for that we can use right now?
I think they've given us authorization to use 7 of the 8? 7 of the 8 new ones, and then, of course, the other 5 that we have that are the older ones. So we have a considerable amount of available space. Thank you.
Thank you. City engineer.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Mr. Bradford.
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Lizette, Rising Tide.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Just yesterday, I finished working on the flyer for our housing forum as part of Project Rising Tide. It is called Housing Matters, and we're gonna have Sarah Lucas, the contractor, as part of Rising Tide, talking about some of the opportunities that the city or the community could consider as part of alternatives for the housing shortage in Manistee. We plan to have some testimonials of the people that have genuinely suffered with the housing issue here in the community, and also talk to other local and regional partners on, possibilities and things to consider. It is going to be on June 26th, and it'll be at the high school auditorium from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. I'll make sure to get that your way, but I wanted to give you a heads up to kind of lock it in your calendars so you can get out there if you have the opportunity to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Council members,
Got nothing.
Mr. Kowalski.
Jeff, are they gonna do anything with those steps going down at the Veterans Memorial? A lot of the veterans, and the mayor and I walked down those things, and some of those are rotting out. There's no handrail. I mean, a lot of them look like they're ready to fall over, a lot of the people.
Yeah, they're in pretty rough shape. There's a lot of differential settlement between the bricks and the wood. The wood's rotted. We've looked at that with the JCs. They've made that their signature project for this year. So they're spending this year to fundraise. We also have kind of a loose commitment from a developer just to utilize donated funds towards some of those improvements. So we're trying to pull some resources together to do some rehab on that.
Good, thank you.
Manistee.
The only thing I'd mention is, yesterday, the mayor and I went to the Filer City Retail Marketing Study. And to me, I thought it was probably one of the more inspiring economic development meetings that I've been to. He had a very, very bright future laid out for Filer. And as you know, Filer is basically our neighbor, and the statistics that they used for their economic development included Manistee. Little Filer is basically, according to these statistics that they launch, is able to grow by 30,000 square foot of retail. That amounts to about 10 or 15 new businesses, 5 new restaurants. That's the kind of growth that they're talking about within the next 5 years for them. And I think Manistee even more. The gentleman is named Robert Gibbs. He's an author of a number of different books, but he also has a website, Urban Retail Institute. He gave his email for us to contact is rgibbs@gibbsplanning.com. And he's one of the heavyweights. His clients basically make big economic decisions based on his input. One of the things, though, that I wanted to bring up to the council is one of the things that the developers really look for is the walkability score, and we have to get our score to 80 if we really want to see the kind of potential economic development that is really out there for us. And again, as a council and as the city, that would be one of the things that I would challenge us with is how do we get there? How do we get that score to 80? Because it is going to be even more important in the near future than it is today.
What's our score now?
I think our score was in the 60s, I believe.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I don't know for sure, but I think it was brought up that that we were short of the 80 for a couple of reasons.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for last month. It was a rough few weeks. Appreciate everybody coming and being with my family.
Councilman Cooper. Mayor Pro Tem.
I just want to say it's been a nice meeting. We've learned a lot about Community Foundation and a lot of good reports. I just hope that next weekend will be nice for all of us. That's it.
Okay, I also attended that meeting yesterday, and one of the things that I was very encouraged about was the talk with the members of Filer Township were talking about working with the city of Manistee and how nice it was that we were finally starting to work together, and I thought that was very, very encouraging. I've not heard that before. The other thing that really struck with me that this survey that they do, they're within between 1 and 10% of being accurate, right on to what will work and what won't work. And that was very impressive. And they do this all over the world, I believe, not just Michigan, but all of the United States and all over the world. So it was very, very interesting and a very good talk. I believe you can see that online. It'll be online and you can view it online very soon. With that, let's not forget our next work session. We're gonna be talking about curbside recycling, update, just 1 minute, strategic planning, and we're gonna add the fire code to that. So let's be prepared for that. And now we have some cards to hand out.
Okay, from the police department, Josh Glass, Steve Schrader, 25 years, Raul Vasquez, Brian Cook, Service in the city, Anthony Hunt, Terry Manistee, Michael Minchuk, Mary Finner. City Manager's Office, Cindy Lakovich.
Thank you.
Everybody can Mr. Neil Cooper on his 70th birthday coming up.
Yay! Let's hear it for Dave. And with that outburst, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion.
All right.